So a standard Wednesday night in my community is now just hearing a ruckus in the distance somewhere out the window, tuning in a bit and realising that what you're listening to is some half-witted knuckle dragger spewing a load of hateful spiel somewhere around about the place outside one of your neighbour's doors on a microphone by the sounds of it. Fuck's sake, who are giving these fucking people microphones? Just because you're loudest doesn't mean you should be talking. And then followed by the preceding chant of just more half-witted knuckle draggers, to be honest, shouting, "Get them out." What the fuck? And folk think I'm the childish one for pointing out the obvious, which is, well, if the politicians and systems that we had put our faith in previously actually operated and functioned as they should, and we were a democracy, that shit would not be happening outside our doors. Because I don't care who you are, if you've got half a brain, you're not feeling safer because of that. You're feeling very fucking dysregulated if that's the kind of shit you're hearing evening in, evening out around the place. That and a mixture of sirens everywhere. And recently, I've been hearing sort of on the grapevine that local kids are saying, like, oh, Aberdeen's fucked. Like, they just can't wait to leave here. And like, nobody wants to stay here because a small minority of loudmouths who have been woefully fucking misinformed and brainwashed by some very ill-intentioned fucking bad faith actors. Yeah, these people have allowed themselves to be fed a convenient narrative of who's responsible for their misgivings about society and how it's failed them, when, let's be honest, the systems that we uphold and the structures we uphold, us, have failed them, because nobody should be, getting to the stage where they're that woefully misinformed that they're standing outside random brown people's houses, no doubt, by the sounds of it, blaming them for all their worldly misery when they've probably never met them before in their life. Like, I really never thought I'd be living in a time where that's the kind of thing I would actually see right in front of me in my community. And, maybe this is just my previous privilege talking, where, it was happening all over the place and I just didn't see it because I was conveniently shielded from it, much like a lot of people in our community are, that think there's no real problems here and that, people like me are making a fuss over nothing. It's not nothing if, instead of hearing a nicer outside your door in an evening, instead of hearing the local kids kicking a football about, instead of hearing your neighbours having a natter as they walk the dogs, you're hearing a hateful mob of racists basically terrorising one of your neighbours somewhere in the distance. And yeah, don't tell me that I don't have a reasonable, justifiable stance on saying, why are we still just going along with the same structures and people who sound like they agree with us but actually don't change anything, as if I'm the unreasonable or childish one? Well, I know I didn't just imagine that whole fucking thing that I just had to hear somewhere out there. No, it's about time we were all getting a bit more real about the fact that we're all quite happy to say, oh, nothing to do with us, oh, I don't see that, or that's not anything I'm involved in, or I don't agree with that, I wouldn't thingy. No, we all kind of go along with these systems and these things that uphold that. And one of the things I've heard lately from people is, yeah, but, we didn't put these things into place. That's our ancestors. That's not us. We don't agree with that. Yes, but our ancestors aren't here to dismantle it now, are they? We are. We're the lifetime that is recognising, the deep-seated problems with these systems of colonialism and oppression and misogyny and patriarchy and all these hateful, horrible things. Yeah, the whole, well, we didn't put it into play and we don't agree with that now, whilst you still benefit off of it and allow it to continue, is just not going to fly. It isn't. You can't say that because, like I say, well, you can't resurrect your ancestors to come and fix their fuck up now, can you? We're the ones that are alive, and if we are still going along with passively and benefiting from all the fucking chaos that ensues everywhere and the rightful hatred it earns us for our fucking entitlement, uh, I don't know what to tell you, people. You're the ones alive right now, and if you're benefiting from it and passively going along with it and saying it's not a problem, you're really not the good guy you think you are. And people like me who have been screaming from the rafters about all this shit on a wider, more zoomed out angle for quite some time now, and been, ridiculed and had our sanity called into question and our mental health called into question. We've been pathologized by absolute fucking novices left, right, and centre for having a very natural, visceral reaction. And in my case, in combination with lots of other health things and lifestyle things that all kind of coincided. But that's for a story for another day, for another video. Yeah, there's nothing really unrealistic about my reactions or the effect it's had on me, given how empathic I am and how sensitive a person I am. So yeah, I just really these days find it not difficult at all to just hit that back and go, no, you're not looking at the reality of our situation because you want to live in a comfortable bubble of delusion that removes your personal responsibility. When your ancestors aren't here to clean up the mess, you are, and you're still the one benefiting from it. So yeah, when I'm hearing big hateful mobs gathering outside of my community for, because I know they've been led up the fucking garden path as well, and been given convenient fucking targets to point their hatred at for the failings that our society has had for them as well. It's just pitching people against each other at their lowest ebb, and to me it's clear as day really that the people at the bottom should not be fighting the other people at the bottom. We all have fuck all, really, in the grand scheme, and the ones who do have a little bit could have it fucking taken away in a second as well. So let's get real, shall we, about the fact that nobody is overreacting, about the fact that there is a real fucking insidious undercurrent of hatred kind of, perpetuating and gathering momentum in our communities. And, they're not, I don't think it's the kind of people that spend a long time online like we do trying to kind of, wrap our heads around all this and educate ourselves and debate each other on where we stand on it all. They're just getting out there and terrorizing fucking innocent people in our communities, in their homes. And nobody's overreacting about that when they're saying that doesn't make us feel very safe in our communities. Where is the opposite community reaction to that? Where are the people that are like, no, we won't be letting that fucking chaos run rampant on our streets? You know what I mean? Gross. No, it's gross and it's ignorant and it's just, I mean, if I'm honest at this point, I hear something like that somewhere that's really loud and it's just to me like a beacon of, mate, you're just platforming your trauma for the whole world to see and directing it at these folk that you don't even know. It's really transparent is what it is, that if that's the stance you've gotten to with all the information out there, and let's be honest, the internet is free. Really, for you can get a hold of information. You don't have to just swallow the first thing that makes you feel good about yourself. So yeah, if you've gotten to that point, why, how, like, it's got to just be self-inflating stuff so that people don't have to face the real root of why they're angry, the systemic failings and the local failings and the failings within our own social structures and our own communities and our more intimate sort of settings. Because really, that's where it all takes root. No point in standing raging outside fucking whoever's house that you've never met before, when we all know that the reason, you know, that that happens is because we're really avoiding facing the bigger problems, because that's much harder. That takes a lot more personal responsibility from all of us. It takes a lot more introspection. It takes a lot more work with each other, and it's a lot more uncomfortable than it is to just spew a lot of misdirected hate outside, you know, a refugee or a migrant's house or something. Like, it's just misplaced, it's misdirected, and, you know, all the information is out there for you to know that now. There's no excuse for it. So whenever I hear that, I just think, I just hear your trauma being misdirected. I just hear somebody that needs to go and get some fucking help, really. Instead of screaming on the streets and spreading that hateful crap everywhere and making everybody feel uncomfortable. Because I can tell you, most of us do not feel comfortable with that level of unrest just fucking policing itself all over the place. No, that's not how you deal with stuff. And it's just not going to fix anything either. Like, okay, do that then, but it still won't fix your problems, because that's not, you know, that's not the root of your problems. If you would bother to fucking look a bit deeper in all of this and listen to some of the folk that really do actually know. So anyway, yeah, that's a regular Wednesday night in my neighbourhood these days. I never thought that would be something. I mean, even now, even though I have been well tapped in for years and I'm well aware of the systemic failings and the things that we uphold and the comfortable lies we tell ourselves to keep doing that so we don't have to actually do the hard thing and to really do the real work with each other. Yeah, it kills me that, you know, we could, okay, go down the hateful path, go down the whole fractured, pulling everything apart, blaming all the wrong people for however long, creating more fucking emissions, because then of course, along with all this this loudmouth bloody ignorant nonsense, you get the fucking pea shooter motorbikes going round and round. I have no idea why. What is that meant to do? Are we recreating a fucking Mad Max scene here? I didn't know we were bringing that part back. It just beggars belief to me. It's like, yeah, I get it. We're all pissed off and we're all fucking angry about various things, but we're all fucking directing it at the completely wrong people and places. And also doing really nonsensical stuff, like, you know, just quite transparently spewing our own trauma and hatred and anger at all the wrong fucking places and people that we've never even met before, and outside houses of people that, you know, may well have come from really fucking unstable circumstances themselves to then be catapulted into more shite like that here. You know? Wednesday night in my neighbourhood. So glad I lived for this era.